Hey AP students, let's get ready for your test on Tuesday. So as promised, this is the video going over the practice problems that I posted for you to use to review before Tuesday's test at the end of class. Okay? So these are the practice problems I want you to look at. We did this one in class, and we also did this one in class. So I'm not going to go over these in this video, but you can go look at the recordings on Canvas because we went over 23 and 43. If you're in my period 2 class, I believe in the middle of number 23, the internet kicked out for me. So there might be a little skip in the recording right there. Okay? And again, of course, if this video doesn't clear things up, email me or email me and we can talk about it another time, or we can talk about it at the beginning of class on Tuesday. Some other good ideas for you to review, some other things like your quizzes, multiple choice questions, past practice problems, textbook, videos, notes. You may also want to look at College Board, and then look at old AP questions. You have access to all old AP questions and the answers too on College Board. Not just for AP Stats, but for all of your AP classes. Okay. So what we're gonna do is, we're gonna start with number 1. However, what I think you should do is, if you haven't done these questions already, I think you should pause the video, give an honest shot at number 1, and then after that, check your answers here. Okay, don't watch this video while watching or trying to read it in your textbook. Okay, so if you haven't done number 1 yet, please do number 1 right now. Okay, for those of you that have looked at number 1, we'll go over the answers here. Number 1 and number 3, it's asking whether it's an observational study or an experiment. Okay, so this first one is a observational study. Because they are just observing these babies, the premature babies, and then they are comparing them to the non-premature babies, or the preemies. Or any of you preemies out there? My first son was a preemie at 32 weeks. So we're just simply observing. There's no manipulation. You know, you're not causing the baby to become a preemie or anything like that. If you did, that would be terrible, first off, but that would be an experiment. And since we identified these children and we followed them through age 8 and again at age 20, this would be a prospective study. Okay. It asks you about the parameter of interest. Parameter of interest, all it's saying is, like, what are we looking at? What are we trying to follow? What are we testing for at the end? And it's they did a test on the risky behavior. So basically they found that premature babies were were less likely to participate in risky behavior than full-term babies. Okay? Think about that yourself. You say that's true? If you're not a premature, if you were not premature, maybe you can ask some of your friends if they're premature and see if there's a difference right there. Okay, so that's number 1. We're gonna go to number 3 now. Again, if you haven't done number 3, go ahead and pause the video and do it right now. Okay, so this time number 3 is talking about they're testing puppies. On puppies, they want to see the relationship between diet and longevity. So if you eat a certain diet, if you live longer. Okay, so this is an experiment because there's matching involved as well. There's random assignment involved here as well. Okay. So it's an experiment, so I think it would be a good idea for us to look at the factors, or factor, the levels, the treatment, okay? And there's also some matching involved here. So let's talk about those things. Okay, so you have 48 Labrador Retriever puppies, okay? And you're gonna pair them. If you notice, it said you match them, 2 puppies of the same gender and weight, okay? So what that means is that you have 2 puppies here, okay? And these 2 puppies have similar gender, I'm sorry, not similar, same gender and similar weight. And you have another 2 right here, 2 puppies, another 2 puppies, another 2 puppies, another 2 puppies, another 2 puppies, okay? So you have 48 total. 48 total puppies. And for each of those pairs, so this is what we call matching right here, okay? They've been matched by similar traits. And then of the 2 puppies that are the same, you're gonna compare them to each other. This is just like our shoe example where you have a left foot and right foot. So what they did is they took 2 puppies that were similar, just like how your left foot is similar to your right foot because you're the same person, okay? And one got a all-you-can-eat diet, and the other one had a low-calorie diet, okay? And then from there, they compared, I think it said after how long? Oh, I guess until they died. So it lasted a long time. And they found that the low-calorie diet dogs were, on average, living about 22 more months. That's a little less than 2 years. Okay? So they did this for these 2, and they did it for these 2, and these 2, and these 2, and these 2. So there's 48 total puppies, which means there are 24 total pairs, right? And 24 of them got all you can eat, and 24 got low-calorie. Okay? So what was the factor here? What are we examining here? We're examining the diet, right? And how many levels? There are 2 levels, the all you can eat and then the low calorie. Okay. The treatment would be, so the puppy, a puppy could receive 1 of 2 diets, right? So there'll be 2. And then yes, there's matching. It says matched by it was gender and weight. Okay, there's matching here, and then it looks like these were randomly assigned. Okay, so for these type of questions, unless it asks you to, you do not have to draw a diagram, but it might be helpful too, just so you can see it. Okay. All right, so that's number 3. Next one is number 19. 19 is a bedding example. Okay, so go ahead and read number 19 to yourself right now. Okay, so we have a bettor who's trying to make some money, and they choose 5 games. They want to choose a winner of those 5 games. Okay. So we're gonna do a simulation. So remember, we need 3 parts to a simulation. The first, we have to define what numbers we're using. Using 0, because it says a toss-up. Do you see the term toss-up in your? Okay, a toss-up means that there's an equal chance. There's 50-50. Okay, I'm gonna use 0 through 1. Let's let 0 represent a correct bet or correct choice, and let 1 equal incorrect. Okay. And I'm going to get my calculator. I'm going to make my table. So trial number, we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Our outcomes, and then our response variable right here. So on your calculator, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do math PRB, math PRB, the fifth option, and I'm gonna do 0, 1, okay, so if you read the context of the question, they choose 5 games, okay? So we're gonna do 5 here, or you could just hit enter 5 times. That's totally fine too. But I'm just gonna choose these 5 values. This is what I got right here. So I got 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. Remember, your answer is gonna be different from mine as it is gonna be from any of your other classmates, and that's fine. I care about the process and not the final answer, okay? So this time, they got 3 correct bets. Okay, so if you look at the given information, if he gets 3 correct, he's paid $10. But remember, he paid $10 to play. So if you give $10 and you receive $10 back, how much money did you make? Yeah, a grand total of 0. Okay, let's see if he has better luck the next round. So this time he got 0, 1, 1, 0, 0. That's my second one. Okay, so he had 3 correct answers, 3 correct bets. So he gave $10 and he got $10 back. So he made $0. This time he got 0, 1, 0, 0, 0. This time he got 4 correct answers. So with 4 correct answers, he gave 10 to play and he got 20 back. So he just made $10. Okay, and this next time he got 0, 1, 0, 1, 1. So that means he got 2 correct answers. Okay, if he's right about fewer than 3 of the games, he loses, so he doesn't get any money. So he actually lost $10. And then last one, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, so he got all 5 correct. If he gets all 5 correct, he gets $50, big money. Okay, so total here, he made 50. And then divide that by, oh wait, he did not make 50, right? Because he got 50, he paid 10 and he got 50 back, so he got 40. Okay, let me make sure I did that correctly in the other ones. He got 20, yeah. Okay, so actually he got $40 and then divide that by 5. Right, because we had 5 right here, so average, he made an average of $8. Okay, so for your answer, based on my simulation of 5 trials, I predict the bettor will make an average of $8 per week. Okay. Remember, this answer could be different. It should be different for everyone. All right. So that's number 19. So far we've gone over 1, 3, 9. We're going to skip 23 because we did it in class, and then we'll go to 35 and 37. So let's go to 35. If you have not done 35, pause the video. I'm going to go ahead and look at 35. Okay. So 35 deals with a table, so we should take a look at that table. This is very relevant, right, with our election coming up about, what, 5-6 weeks away on November 3rd. So they took a telephone survey, okay? And the first question is asking, what kind of sampling strategy do you think the pollsters used? Well, if you look at the last column, the total column, what do you notice about these numbers? They're pretty close to 1,000, right? So I'm guessing our pollster was looking for 1,000 for each of these age groups. In class, what is that called again? When you have when you separate your population into different groups, I won't say that S word, and you want to try to obtain a certain number. And remember these numbers, okay, it's stratified random sampling. Stratified random sampling, it could be the same per strata or it could be different. It's totally up to the surveyor. It's totally up to you, okay? So I would say this is stratified random sampling. We know it's random because I think it says represent telephone survey. Here, stratified sampling, because the pollster wanted approximately 1,000 responses per age group. Okay. What percent of the people surveyed were Democrats? So if you look at the total on the bottom right there, the 1404, that's total Democrats out of that number. Okay, that's a grand total. So you have 1404 over 4002. Okay, if you punch that in your calculator, you should get 35.08%. Question C, do you think it's a good estimate of the percentage of voters in the United States who are registered Democrats? Why or why not? You know, this is another maybe question. You could argue either way. Again, if you write yes or no or maybe, that's not what I care about. It's your explanation. Okay, I would say maybe here because it is a phone survey. Okay, so you missed out on which group? People without phones, people off the grid who don't have or people, you know, I think they called telephone survey. So maybe they called cell phones, maybe they called home phones. I'm not sure. But the phone survey, like, you eliminate a large group of people. Okay, if it was a home phone, for sure, right? Because there are a lot less people with home phones these days than there were, you know, back then. Okay. And then lastly, D. What question do you think the pollster was trying to answer? Okay, so look at the row heading and then the column heading. Okay, I would think that since they asked for age, or they stratified by age, and they're asking the party affiliation, I think they wanted to know something like, does age influence political party affiliation? Basically, does your age tell you something about what political party you affiliate with? Class, what do you think about that in your opinion? Okay, here's number 35. And last one, 37. Okay. Oh, the grape one. Yeah. So the scarecrow. Okay. Go ahead and read that over right now. Okay. So we are going to make an experiment. They tell you that this is an experiment. Okay. And you're trying to experiment to see which method would help you prevent grape loss, your grapes getting eaten or taken by these birds. Okay. So you could just have like one plot of grapes, you know, with the scarecrow there, and then another plot with the netting, and compare them. But why don't we do this? Why don't we, if say this is a vineyard, right? So this is vineyard number 1, and you have another vineyard right here, and another vineyard right here. Okay. So in this first vineyard, you could put a scarecrow. Okay, and this one you could put the netting. And this one you could have none. Okay, so you have no, this is our control group. Okay, so if we did not have any type of prevention for the birds, what would that be like? What would our grapes look like? So we want to compare this to here and compare this to here. Okay, because who knows, there might be no difference. Okay, so the factor here we're looking at is the type of bird prevention, I guess. Prevention, okay. Levels, you have 3 levels, right? Scarecrow, netting, or none. So you could do it this way, right? But if you think about this, well, there's other factors that could come into play here. You know, well, what if there is like a road right here, okay? And then maybe the cars influence that. Or what if there's like a forest? All right, class, this is a forest, okay? Or what if there's like a river? Maybe there's a river right here. Okay, this is water. Okay. So what I think you should do is, yeah, remember with a good experiment, you have multiple experimental units. Right now our experimental unit is the grapes, the grape vineyard. Okay. So what I would suggest doing is it could be something simple as this. Okay. So you have 9 plots. You divide up your vineyard into 9 plots. So here you could put the scarecrow, and the scarecrow here, and the scarecrow here, and then you could do the net here, and the net here, and the net, oh wait, I messed that up. Net here, and the net here, and then you could do none here, none here, and none here. Because remember, you want to watch out for any confounding variables, because remember our forest right here? It's possible that the forest has something to do with it. Or maybe there's some kind of plant that the birds don't like. Or maybe that the fact that there's this road right here, that might be a confounding variable. Or this river. Okay? The more plots you have, the better. And I would also space out the vineyards, because like if your scarecrow is standing right there, it's possible that that scarecrow could also influence this none plot and also this netting plot right here, okay? So for a question like this, you would have to explain it, and I think a picture like this would be very, very useful. Okay. So they also ask you, what is your response variable here? Since we're looking at the effect on the grapes, we can say something like this is the percentage of grapes eaten or stolen or devoured or destroyed, grapes affected by the birds. Okay. This is going to be very challenging because not every plot has the same number of grapes. Does that make sense? So it might, and you don't want to count, are you going to count every single grape? Probably not, right? So I think the experimenter is going to have to figure out a better way to possibly do this. Okay. All right. So again, you have 3 levels from 1 factor, and this is your response variable. Okay. So again, numbers 23 and 43 are in your video, so please watch that, okay? Hey, happy studying. Remember, class, don't wait till Monday night to review. Review a little bit on Saturday, review a little bit on Sunday, review a little bit on Monday, and then come with your questions on Tuesday. Okay? Thanks, class.